What? With
April
and Nattie.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Now let's just relax and chat.
Yes.
Welcome to our very first episode.
Welcome. Thank you for coming in and thank you for being a part of this.
This is big, important
for us.
Yes.
And we are so thankful that you are supporting us by listening in and even giving us a chance.
There you go.
We are just two moms that want to make an impact in anyone's lives.
Yes. Change it for the better. Make someone happy. Make someone laugh.
Make someone feel joy.
Exactly.
We are not professionals by any means.
No PhD. We're not psychiatrists.
We're going to be a little bit open. It'll be as if it's a personal diary journal.
Yeah. This is us coming out of our comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Pushing us as far as we can go.
And we want to be able to speak anything that is on our mind that can possibly impact anyone else's.
You know, you're not alone.
Exactly.
Never alone.
So we have no category. We're not just going to be off of one subject.
Yeah.
We want to explore everything simply because we don't like to just stay in topic.
We love everything.
I
mean, I feel like, you know, like us living such completely different lives.
Right.
We get to experience a little bit more with each other and like get to know and learn from each other.
Right.
We've lived completely different lives.
We have.
Which is beautiful. I love that.
I would categorize myself, to be honest, a little bit more like basic.
Bougie.
No, I wish it was bougie too. But I would say basic in the terms of like, I try to do everything like normal society. And Natalie was just living life trying to figure things out.
Wild, you know, literally wild.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah,
and so wild. Me being intrigued by that, and that was that. Isn't that crazy how people can bring things in like that?
The bump it,
like Guidos and all of
my
that.
My aunt had to bump it.
Was it that piece of plastic?
Yeah, you were like putting like tease your hair, like put it over. I remember I was like so obsessed with that. I was like, oh my god,
the freaking piece of plastic
so
in her head. We used to like roll up socks.
Oh my god,
and like make
the buns. Oh my god, I could never make mine perfect.
Well, I had a lot of hair. Like that was my issue. I could never wrap it around and make it look very clean because I have a lot of hair.
So I was like, messy bun for life.
It's like, who does messy buns? I look like Miss Trunchbull from Matilda.
Oh god. Ew. Not the personality.
No,
not the personality.
Miss Trunchbull.
But if you're still listening, okay, like cool, thanks. Like, subscribe, support.
There has been ups and downs that I would like to discuss because no marriage is perfect.
Obviously, that's
no relationship is perfect. Please, can I say that louder for the people in the back?
This is realism right here. That's real. Yes.
And I will be speaking on that, just kind of how my husband's name is Trino and how Trino pisses me off, how we kind of come back and reconnect,
like relearn to love each other,
right,
in different ways as you guys grow.
And it's just a part of life.
Yeah,
it just is.
I wouldn't expect anything else, honestly, because if like you look at like the perfect couple, like they're not perfect.
Nobody is. And I want to put that out there, like we are not perfect by any means.
And
it may look
together
like it.
as long as you guys have like wow.
Right, we'll see. And then with Nat,
yeah, we like, you got married at 21. I got married at 20.
Right.
And then I got divorced at 24, 23. I got divorced at 23.
See, this is the thing that they're going to get out of us is that I don't know everything about you.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that it was like between those years like that. And I love that because you'll get my genuine reaction.
Like, it's like, dude, that
like,
what?
So you got married and then what?
Yeah.
That is a part of life.
Yeah.
And it didn't work the first time, and that's okay.
No, I got married to somebody I knew for only 2 months.
Oh,
yeah.
No way. I didn't know that you only knew him for 2 months.
Only for 2 months, and it was like really fast. So like the way it started, I mean, it's just the way it ended. Okay. Just as fast. I mean, 2 months, 2-3 years, like.
Well, it's a life experience, right?
It was. I mean, not the experience I would want anybody else to go through, honestly, but it was a really good teaching moment. Taught me a lot about myself and what I can handle and how strong I am, honestly.
You see, that's beautiful in itself.
Yeah, I'm very strong.
like if you take that, if okay, I'm just assuming maybe it wasn't perfect or whatever, but if it wasn't, then you took that and you're trying to make the best of it.
Oh yeah, I learned a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Natalie is with my brother now. That is going to actually come and talk on here as an interviewer.
Yes.
Which we are also wanting to put into topic of that.
Oh yeah.
That we will have some people coming in that would like to discuss a little bit about themselves and their journeys, and
because everyone has stories,
right? And I do feel that is very important for people to feel.
Oh yeah,
that they are important and their stories are important
and they're heard
and they deserve to be heard.
You know, make a difference in somebody else's life who kind of would do like a similar thing.
Let's normalize it.
Yeah,
and that is going to be pretty beautiful. I think. So we'll be bringing in some people. Just if you guys are interested in being an interviewer,
hit us up.
Yes, hit us up. We are open to it. We're going to be discussing just different topics about mental health.
And not limit to anything.
No, we're not limited to nothing.
Anything and everything you feel like needs to be discussed. Hey, let's talk about it.
We'll talk about businesses. We'll talk about
healing, traumas.
Yes, healing and traumas and
crime, you know?
Yes, that's my favorite. So go ahead and email us or send us a message or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'd
Please
love to discuss.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, we'll also be talking about traveling. Oh, yeah. I know. It's so amazing. Like, it's when you say traveling, it just, like, brings joy.
It does. Like, vacation?
What?
Yeah.
Can you, like, go shopping and buy all these new outfits for no reason?
And then, like, they'll be in the closet for the rest of the year.
You only used it that one time.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
But that's what's exciting about it. You are able to set yourself into a different atmosphere wherever your heart desires and be someone that nobody would ever know who you are. Yeah. You can be whoever you want to be because nobody knows you here.
You reinvent yourself. Yeah. So we're both from the valley.
Yeah.
Of Texas.
Which is going to be Texas.
Yeah. The bottom tip.
Which is about 5 minutes to 5 seconds from where you're at. From the border of Mexico. And
I mean, like the way you said, you get to like be a different person. So I've like personally lived in the valley, lived in Houston. So I've got to like experience like different me's, I want to say, like, you know,
right,
like I just want to say like the valley was more Spanish me, because I mean you get a lot of Spanish.
Well, you learned all your Spanish.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, I try to embrace like my Hispanic, my Latino side as much as I can. And then like Houston is everything, honestly, like such a huge city.
I know. I can't wait for you to share that about, you know, your experiences in the different cities in Texas. Yeah. Because you have done that. Yeah. And I have not. But the aspect of like understanding that not everything is the same. Yeah. You know, the valley, I would spend most of my summers there. Yeah. So that's how I learned Spanish. And I mean, you know, my Spanish isn't great, but
it's, I mean, better than your brother's.
It's not like, I mean, yeah, that if you categorize me with him, oh my goodness, you should probably have him talk like when he comes on.
He wouldn't.
Yes,
he would not. He would not.
And it's not to make fun. It's not. It's just
he needs to learn, and I keep telling him that. Like, you really need to just talk to me like in Spanish, and like I'll try to correct him, but then he like takes it up the butt. Yeah, and he's like, I don't want to talk no more, and I'm like, it's okay.
And if you don't use it, then you lose it.
I think we do need to use it as much as we can.
I don't like to be told like, oh, you're not saying that right. Okay, well then tell me how to say it right.
Yeah. Don't just like correct me. You know, correct me right. Like let me know, honestly.
But non-judgmental. That's what we're here for. We want no judgment.
Please. Because I feel like I don't judge at all. Like I feel like I've done it all, seen it all. And I'm kind of just like, just tell me about it. Like what's a big deal, you know? Like,
I think it goes with growing. Some grow, some don't. And if you've grown enough to say like, yeah, where's the judgment going to lead to? Then you understand that even you saying you don't like it and it doesn't make a difference, then why can't you just keep it to yourself?
Yeah. Like, you like it, so what do you like about it?
Right. So, we'll see about all that. Because, you know, we've already had a little taste of the bullies. But it's alright because we're still here.
Oh yeah, that was so funny. But I like how it made us laugh more than anything.
It made us laugh because I mean, we hadn't even put a picture of ourselves.
I didn't understand it. It was like,
okay, let's not talk about that.
Yeah. We got to see like our different reactions, how we reacted to it.
Honestly, because I wouldn't like that was what I was really worried about. I was like, I wonder if Natalie like wants to talk back, you know, or
and
if,
you really did.
It was like me. Like little did she know that it was me that wanted to.
And I see you as so innocent, like so like.
I hate it when people say that.
But you do. You give up, but I feel like it's just like a look that you have. Like you're just like very. I don't know. Maybe because mature, innocent. Like
yeah, I did have to mature. I had to grow up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a mom oldest. In your early 20s and everything. I mean, that's growth.
Yeah.
Your brain changes. Your brain changed.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I was, I'm the oldest of 6 siblings. So
that is also really big. The oldest gets like a very different like
role.
Yeah.
We play a whole different role.
Responsibility, maturing wise.
And it really just depends on how you take it. Like I take my older sibling role very seriously.
You do?
I try to be there for my siblings as much as possible. I'm all about the peace, you know? And just I'm about loving the fact that I have a big family. Like I just love it.
Do.
I don't like awkward situations.
No.
So I like to talk.
You're welcoming. We're very welcoming.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this, because we do love to talk.
And then with you, it's just all you have to do is smile.
Yeah.
It's those dimples, man. Look at her.
And then you like talk, and I'm like, oh, so we're talking now? What are we going to talk about then?
Yes.
Like, okay, sing it. Say it.
Right. And that's what I wanted a lot of people to understand, is that we've known each other for quite some time. But
how long, actually?
But that's like different than actually knowing each other.
Acquaintances, family, friends. Our family have been friends. Our grandpas knew each other.
Yeah.
Does it go back to great grandpas?
So it goes back to the valley again.
Yeah, because they all grew up in the same place.
It's like if you come from the valley, you pretty much knew each other.
It's a long story how we know each other.
So basically, we all just really like each other.
Yeah. I consider your brother, I guess, like, not my first crush, but would it be considered a first crush?
I mean, if your mom has a picture of you guys kissing at the age of 2,
weird.
I would like consider that like a childhood crush.
It's just so weird. And then we like ended up together, baby.
I honestly didn't even know that you guys had that type of relationship.
We like did, but didn't.
Like
did, but didn't.
Quietly.
Like. Honestly, yeah. Because he wasn't somebody I was like, oh my God.
Because whenever he got with you, I was like, oh, okay. Like, how did this happen?
But not didn't happen for a
while. He's like, we've been hanging out since like forever.
Honestly, yeah. But like, it's weird. So I ended up moving to Bronzeville when I was like 15. Literally 15. And my last day here, before I moved, I spent it with your brother.
Aw.
The entire day.
That's sweet.
Minus the morning. That was a different experience.
Stop.
I wasn't like I wasn't a bad kid, but I was like an OSS ISS. So
okay.
Like yeah, so he like picked me up like at a random, I think it was like Taco Bell. He picked me up and we just spent the entire day together doing like 15-year-old stuff. Yeah.
Was he driving then?
Yeah, he did actually. Was
it his moped?
No.
Oh, man. That
it was
so good.
I think it was his black Camry.
Okay. Yes, his first car.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and he like drove around everywhere in it, honestly, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then he like dropped me off at my ex-boyfriend's house.
Dude.
Yeah, and I ended the night there.
But he seemed to do that often, didn't he?
Honestly,
like certain situations.
Anyways,
he is so funny. Like he was still like, this is the person I'm gonna end up with. But
we
I'm
never
gonna,
saw that.
I know, but it was almost like you guys kind of knew, but didn't know.
Yeah.
Like you were still always coming back to each other,
which is weird.
Yeah,
the universe.
It's just how the universe works, right? It's a strange thing. I mean, it's just kind of how Trino and I stayed together for so long.
That's it.
It's like you evolve as people,
grow together,
which is very important. If he's not willing to grow, and I'm not willing to grow, then it's just not going to work.
No.
It just wouldn't ever work. And to be honest, that was like the main factor of even staying together for so long, is just saying okay, I see that you've changed as a person. Let me go ahead and see if I can keep up with you.
Yeah.
Or if I'm able to change myself, because it's a part of life.
Yeah. Has many people came up to you or like asked you like advice on a relationship and marriage?
No.
No.
No, they have not. If anything, I feel like I get judged for being with someone for so long.
It's not normal, honestly. I mean, like, divorce has become so normalized, you know. Step parents, which I love my stepdad to death, but it's like became a normal thing. Like, if you ever see somebody who has like a 2-parent household but they're the same parents, like, they're like, wow.
Now that I'm saying that, no, it is very strange. I didn't really see very much of it growing up either myself.
You didn't experience. I didn't experience.
There's a couple people that are family members that have stayed together for a very long time.
Yeah.
But you know what's actually interesting now that you mentioned that is that I've always looked at them as something that I've wanted.
Yeah, you do look up to that. You do, which is why I said, like, you know, society, like, wow, you did it.
Right. And it was something that I've always, like, I knew that it was supposed to happen at some point. Yeah. Even though my family, you know, was a kind of a broken family and my parents got divorced and stuff like that. Like, it was just something that I always kept an eye on and I set as something for my future.
Breaking generational trauma.
And curses and all of the above.
Yeah, like, you did it. You did it. Anybody else can too.
And so with that being said, like, I feel like I have to continue. Like, not just that, but let's keep going, you know?
See how far you guys can go. And that's amazing, honestly.
It's been a mission impossible.
Did it for so long. Like, wow.
Like, I can't believe she lasted that long with him. What?
But it's growth. It's being uncomfortable with one another and really learning how to grow from that.
And acknowledging that, you know, that person that you're with has feelings too. And they're not going to be the same as yours.
Never. That's just not real. Honestly.
It's like men just in general they think differently than women do.
Oh my god, that's like a topic we like definitely want to get into. Like
stupidity.
Men's brain.
The repetition of having to say things. It's fun. Yeah. But at the same time, it can be very challenging. It's really how much patience you've grown as a person, and if you're willing to repeat yourself
as many times as you possibly can.
Yes.
Like with your brother, I learned, okay, a month in advance, tell him something. Okay. 2 weeks go by, remind him. The week of, remind him. Yeah. A couple days before, remind him. And then remind him the day
set that
of.
Alert.
Yeah, you really do.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like the way, like, they just have a lot to juggle, I guess.
They do. You know, I didn't appreciate my husband, honestly, until last year. I know. I mean, I appreciated him, yes. But I'm saying, like, into the depth of appreciation. I did not, like, even think for a split second to even visualize what he's done and sacrificed for a family.
It's a lot.
And it is. So bringing into that mental health aspect, that will bring us, you know, discussing a little bit about our childhood trauma, our trauma that we've also just gone through in life.
Because even becoming a mom, because you've changed so much, body, mental, physical, emotional,
all of the above.
Every shoals.
Yes.
You change.
And like no one really tells you that or prepares you for that. And then what's the first thing that everyone says? Well, maybe you should get some help. You know? Well, maybe we should get some help, but then that goes over and beyond building a relationship with someone that actually wants to hear what you say.
And then do you feel heard? Do you really feel heard? Or is this your job, you know?
So the aspect of it is us being able to normalize being normal. Yeah. Like
your own normal.
We're not professionals by any means, like we had mentioned.
Please don't take it too hard.
It's literally just going to be our perspective.
Yeah, take it as you will.
We fixed our issues, and maybe if you want to take it, then you can. If you don't want to, then I mean, you don't have to.
That's okay.
But
you do it your own way.
Yeah, and there will also be other people coming in to talk about their stories,
how they healed,
and then you can take their perspective instead. Yeah. But that's all it's about. It's like some of us don't want to reach out for help. So how about you just listen to someone?
It's very hard to reach out. It took me a long time. And it's pride that we all have and it's normal to have pride, but like literally when you put that pride down, oh my gosh, how much you grow,
right,
is amazing. Personally, I've seen 4 different counselors, different periods of my life. Experiences are very different. How many have you seen?
Just one.
How was that?
It was weird, to be honest. Like, I did a couple sessions and I would come home and like tell my mom, kind of like.
How old were you?
No, I was an adult.
Okay.
I think I had just had Avery.
Oh,
so that was after my second child.
the postpartum? Was it postpartum depression?
No, I mean, it was part of my trauma. Something triggered it.
Yeah.
It was a certain situation that I was put in that triggered me, and I was feeling very, very low. So my mom was like, hey, you should see a therapist. And I got, a therapist, but I kept telling my mom, I was like, she just shakes her head at me every single time I talk.
Yes, go on. Tell me
Yeah.
more.
Well, she would just go like this. Like, she wouldn't even say anything. So then she's like, she's getting to know you. And I'm just like, yeah, but like a little bit of feedback would be nice.
Right?
And after maybe like 6 sessions, I then decided to just kind of.
That's quite a while. 6 sessions? I mean.
Well, after the 6th, so after the 5th session, going into the 6th, she would start to, notice where my triggers were coming from.
Okay.
And she did point them out. So that's when she actually started talking to me.
And you're like, okay, bye.
Yeah. And then at that point, I was like, okay, I got to like go back to work. I couldn't keep doing therapy session. Now I had to go back to work. So it was a whole transition thing, which I should have probably kept on. But with you said, I know, but the thing is that we are stubborn. I mean, I can be stubborn.
It's pride. It's pride.
Yes. I felt like whatever she did teach me, or if she did, that I was just going to take that and I was going to use it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't realize that it is an ongoing thing. It's just the patience.
It is.
And if I didn't feel a connection with her, like, it wasn't going to work, you know? And I mean, you said 4 therapists?
Yeah, I felt a connection with none of them.
None?
One was more like with my mom. Really was like a one-time thing. I didn't get anything out of it.
Wow.
It was just like, why aren't you getting along? Oh, this is why. Okay, cool. Like, it was nothing, honestly.
Right.
And it didn't really help us either. I mean, like, me and my mom have grown so much.
So, like, what you see on TV with, let's just say, because I just watched this.
What?
The Ginny and Georgia.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so cute.
Okay.
Well, it's not cute. I mean,
I don't know what happened.
It's like, it's a whole different scenario. It's about, like, her mom being, a trigger to her.
Okay.
And the thing that I'm trying to say is that they went to therapy and the mom just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
She was just like, what is therapy?
Well, I don't say most older people are like that, but I mean, like, it's
right. And then the show, I mean, because it is a show, she portrays to be a younger woman that has a teenage daughter.
Okay.
So it's that type of scenario. Just so you guys know, my mom had me when she was 15.
Yeah.
So it was relatable to me.
Very young.
Yes.
Like, my mom was young too. Not as young. She was like 19 when she had me. And I feel like she was learning herself at the same time. I mean, she had 3 kids and I feel like never really got to like enjoy herself. Now it's like completely different. Like, you look at my mom now and she's like, I can see her as a mom.
Right.
Back then it was like, this woman just wants to party, like, have fun. And then, like, like, alcohol comes into play, and it's like, just a lot of emotions get brought up.
And I honestly I can relate to that in the aspect of my mom wanting to still feel her freedom.
Our moms partied a lot.
Yeah, they partied together. Oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy.
So, and they were both from the valley, so I mean, that just goes to tell you a little bit.
And they partied down there too together.
Girl, yes. Girl, yes. And they probably went to Matamoros. Or
they did. They did. They really did.
So, I mean, if you guys need to know, Matamoros and Reynosa is over the border. So back then, I mean, just hearing my mom's stories, you could just go.
Crazy. They were like young kids. Like, I mean,
they
like,
were.
Like 13, 14, 15, maybe, like, around
different time at its finest.
Like 16, going out and like to clubs. Like, what?
I mean, the stories that I've heard, it would be great to actually bring them on here. and hear their stories, because it was like almost like I wanted to experience that.
Right? And then you like, now culture's so different. Now you're like, you're like watching every step. Like, am I going to get kidnapped? Like, sex trafficked, everything. Like, it's just,
and I would tell her too, it's like, you would go over there, you never felt scared?
No.
She's like, no, I never did. It was always like, okay. Everybody was so nice.
It was normal.
And now,
carefree.
You can't even go over there without a passport.
Mm.
So let's just state that.
Yeah, there was a different times back then. Yeah.
But I mean, going back to off topic,
just a little
which
bit.
We will be doing.
Yeah, a lot.
But off topic, those 4 therapists, out of all 4 of them, you just did not click.
No, I mean, okay, maybe like the second one I did, but the second one was more court appointed.
Okay.
And I really I felt like really opened up to her a lot. This was when I was in Bronzeville. And I was like 15, 16 at this point. Did something I really wasn't supposed to, which, I mean, when are we? But I really I felt like my punishment was more a lesson. Like, I didn't take it like, oh, like they're doing this to me. It was more like, oh, okay, like, this is nice.
Try to get you to like kind of understand
the
punishment.
And I really grew from that. That's honestly when I got closer to God.
Oh, that's
really
beautiful.
It really like opened me up, and I had like a good set of friends who like put me on track, and they're like, you know, we're here for you. Let's go to these like, you know, sessions and stuff. I really do love to listen.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's why I tell you I'm a talker. Yeah. I really like to talk.
I mean, that's why we work.
You're a listener, talker and a listener.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we balance each other out, you know.
But I talk. I feel like I talk because I've never actually been listened to. Dang, that just got deep.
What? You are heard, April.
I mean, surface.
A lot of childhood trauma.
Yeah, there really is. But, you know, it's made us. We've accepted it. I think we're at that phase in our life where we are able to discuss it.
Yeah.
Where we are able to kind of let people know that it's not something that you have to hold on to.
That is very important, actually, because you can grow from it. That is so big. It's like you can take it and like dwell on it and like let it affect you negatively, but why? What does that do for you?
And most of the time it's unresolved issues.
It is.
It's like there's something that has triggered you that has not been resolved and needs to be resolved.
It's all about healing and growing and taking it. Honestly, like the way I see it is, everything is a freaking lesson. If you don't learn from it, okay, well, why did it happen?
I mean, it's really unfortunate that I didn't learn this until I was 31, but it's better now than later.
Anytime.
At any point. And I feel like I'm a little bit more wiser when I would be so closed off if this was a couple years ago or even a year ago.
Yeah. It's very hard for me to talk about things.
It is, but that's what's good because I've already been so open and, you know, you've like actually witnessed me confronting my mom. Like, it wasn't even planned. It was not planned, but she was there. Like, it was just a moment.
I was quiet. I was observing it. I really was.
Yes, and it was a lot because it was like that one time that I ever did it, and it just happened to be that you were there. So this whole scenario just adds up together. And
that's why I had to contact you, because I was like, that is like what you did was like, I could tell was very hard on you. I really did. I was like, damn.
I mean, I think it would be hard for anybody to actually tell their parents exactly how they felt.
Because like, it comes back, like, you talk back to your parents, but do you ever really, like, get your point across?
No, because you're never heard.
Yeah.
And that's where,
she's your mom. Like, no, just drop it.
You know, or most of the time, you know, all I've heard is you are so sensitive.
I hate that.
I hate that.
What the fuck?
It would make me feel like I can't cry. Like, I can't cry in front of anybody.
I hate crying in front of people.
I know you did mention that.
I do hate that.
And I am a cry freaking baby. Like, I will shed my tears because I'm an emotional person.
It's weird. I can't cry in front of anybody else, but I cry in front of your brother like a fucking baby.
I mean, you gotta choose.
Yeah, I really do. It's like, he's like, why are you crying? I'm like, I don't even know.
But all this time, like, I thought it was not okay to cry. Because everyone would say, you're so sensitive.
I hate that.
That at one point, I got, you know, at one point in my life, I was like, it is okay to cry.
Yeah.
because I'm putting myself in a situation that I'm not comfortable, and me crying is letting out my emotions.
Literally. I used to think of crying as weakness. Like, oh, if you cry, like, oh, you're so weak.
Exactly.
Like, I really do hate that, because it's like, that's not true. It's like my emotions, it's my feelings, it's my reaction. And it's like, I cry when I'm sad, I cry when I'm mad, I cry when I'm happy. It's like, what am I really crying about?
And then sometimes you don't even know why you're freaking crying.
Yes. That's really big.
I mean, I've had so many situations where Trina was like, why are you crying? And I'm like, dude, I honestly don't know. So come back in 5 minutes when I figure it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time. Yeah.
And then he comes back in 5 minutes and he's like, did you figure it out? It's like, I think I did.
Yeah, I typically, honestly, like, I wonder if anybody else does. I cry in the shower. Because I feel like, you know, like, the tears kind of blend in with the water, and it's like, am I crying?
Oh my,
like, no,
I'm not. Really crying, it's the
water. And it's like that whole, like, dramatic moment. You're just, like, sitting in the shower crying, like, ah.
So you're like, for real, you really don't like to cry?
No,
you're
but
like,
it's become normal now. Ever since I became,
water. It's not tears, it's water.
Yeah, like, the mom situation has really brought out, like, emotions that I've never really experienced before.
Okay.
Not that I was, like, hard before, but I was very, like, strong. Like, you can't break me.
Yes.
I know, I'm like, my son broke me. He made me emotional.
It's a good way to express yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think anybody needs to not cry. You can cry if you want to. Cry if you want to. It's your birthday. Yes.
Literally.
Okay, so we'll talk about that stuff, guys.
Back to the counselors. If you've ever used an online counselor, which I have, kudos to you if it worked, but it didn't for me.
So was it like this virtual thing?
It was, and honestly, I did not connect with her. I did not. I really didn't. I felt like it was just weird. And I felt like I lied a lot. Wow. Like, I was not honest at all. I kind of like played it off, but I feel like because it's virtual, I'm in a room, and this is when I was married,
and you're in front of a stranger.
Exactly. And then my partner, like my ex-husband, was like in the other room, and I felt like I was being heard. Oh. So it's like I felt like I had to like lie and be like, yeah, everything's great. So she's like, well, then why are you doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, like, it was weird. And I had to like end it, because I'm like, I can't, like, what's the point of this? Like, I don't feel a connection. I'm not being honest. And like, it really was because of that. And then this last time, which was just like summer of 2021, I went to go see a counselor. First time I saw him, I bawled my eyes out.
Was this like before Thad?
Before Thad. Honestly, yes, because this was like June 2021. I was like, became pregnant like July, and I stopped seeing him only because of like my hospital situation and like being sick, and like I was like, how can you talk to someone when you're throwing up, you know, like nonstop? So I couldn't. And I think like I tried one session with him, but he can tell like I was like sick, and he's like, are you sure, like you can like handle this, like, are you okay? And like the thing is, like, I felt like I really was honest with him, and I did get like, not that I was like being judged, but like a lot of like criticism, like, are you sure that's the path you want to take, Natalie? Like, are you sure you want to do that? And he was great, he was good, but I think my like pregnancy really just did affect me. And I mean, I could go back to him if I wanted to, but it's just, I haven't felt the need to.
Yeah.
Your brother says I should. He says I need a counselor, and I'm like, do I really need a counselor?
Which is funny, because sometimes men don't understand.
No, he pushes me to it. He really does.
That's interesting.
Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I consider myself more extrovert.
Wow.
I would have never known.
I'm an introvert. By heart. But the extrovert wants to come out. It does. It really does sometimes, you know.
Or it comes out. Ooh, dang. Or it comes out when you feel like it. Yeah. It's being brought out. Yeah. Right?
That's why I feel like I'm an observer. I watch the room. I'm like, okay, what kind of situation did I get myself into?
I'm an observer too, which is kind of like creepy on my end. I feel like at times.
I'm analyzing you. But in a good way.
Yeah, I'm like
reading, I'm like learning how to react. You know, I'm learning you. I'm studying you.
I try to not be a bubbly person with the person that isn't.
Damn. Did you feel like I wasn't? Did you ever get
No,
that?
I mean, you were sick when I first met you. You were always
suck.
like,
and I hated that. And honestly, I really felt like I was like, damn, are they gonna think bad about me because I'm like sick? But then like Chubby kept reminding me, he's like, you're sick, Natalie, you're sick. And I'm like, yeah, this is real.
But that was like during the time where we were trying to get to know you, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I mean, you couldn't help it.
A lot of babies born in 2022.
2022 was a turned up year for my family.
Baby, literally baby after baby after baby.
Just like that. 3 babies.
Yeah.
And they were all born in the same, like
in less than a month.
They're 2 weeks apart each.
Honestly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yeah. Hope I don't step on any toes when I say this, but I mean, like, I really do love my stepdad. My dad, that's, I mean, who I consider, it's who I grew up with. It's who typically raised me, honestly. He really did. And it's like an amazing, like, it's like a proud moment when I know he's like proud of who I became. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot from him. Like, you know, growing up, it was always like, okay, like, I worked because he taught me. He taught me to work for what you really need to get. He taught me, like, you know, family matters. He was always there, very important, and he worked for us, and I just really appreciated that. And then from my real dad, it's like, I'm proud of who he is now and how much he has grown now.
Right.
But back then, I don't think I would have been able to say that. No. It was like a very different experience with him, and it was like I didn't want to know him because of who he was and the things that he did, and it's like, I'm pretty sure he could say the same for himself. Like, I know he could. I'm pretty sure he's proud of who he is now, and I think even like my grandparents see it too. It's like, you talk to him, and it's like, I feel like you're actually talking to him. Mm-hmm. Compared to like before, it's like, were you talking to him or were you talking to another version of him? Right. And I just think it's really big. But I mean,
if there's any sign, like any portion of trying,
appreciate them for it.
Way more than no portion of trying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because we, like I said, we are all human. Mm-hmm. We all make mistakes. Nobody tells us what to do right from wrong.
Oh yeah.
We carry what we've learned.
Oh yeah.
You know, but most of the time it's from our parents. So we're carrying on, you know, generational trauma almost.
Yeah, as much as we don't want to, we are.
As much as we don't want to, yes. Yeah. We tend to pick up the generational trauma from our parents and then our parents' parents. Mm-hmm, and it's up to us to decide whether we're going to continue that generational trauma or we're going to take our own path.
Yeah.
And it has to stop somewhere.
And learning, like, if you have to let someone go, let them go. Mm-hmm.
If they're holding you back, if there's a reason that they're stopping you from growing,
bye.
You have to let it go.
As much as it hurts, too. It's never easy to let someone go. And honestly, if I would sit in front of, not that I hate this person, but if I would sit in front of a person, like, I wasn't comfortable with, it would be a man.
Okay.
Honestly, it'd be like multiple men.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And I think I've told you this before. It's like where I cut someone off once they've made me feel a certain type of way, and then I just don't acknowledge them. Even if we're in the same room, I won't acknowledge you.
Right.
And it's just more so like you just don't exist. But if I would have to sit in front of them and talk to them, damn, what would I don't even know what I would do, honestly.
Could you try to understand why I might not like you and then go from there?
I feel like it would obviously be something that I did. So when I put myself in that person's situation, I mean, they did apologize. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No.
Christmas.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, they did apologize. Respect them for that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know if it was really genuine.
Right.
And that's something I do talk about with your brother. I hate apologies. Because I feel like it's so easy to say I'm sorry.
Right.
But do you mean it? Have your actions showed otherwise? It's like, I can say I'm sorry all day, every day. And then I can say it literally like, I'm sorry. And it's like, no, you're not.
Are you though?
Exactly. So it's like, I'm more of a person. I'm more actions.
Have you ever genuinely gotten a real apology though?
No.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Maybe they have been genuine. I just maybe didn't perceive it as genuine.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's more so because they continued doing what they were doing.
Right.
And so then from there, it was just like, you're sorry, just didn't mean shit.
Yes. So you never, like, genuinely have, like, experienced an apology.
Yeah, your brother did have told me that before. He's like, what did I'm sorry's do to you? And I'm like, nothing. Like, what do you mean? They literally did nothing. And so he'll be like, apologize for what you did. And I'm like, why? Like, I mean, because, like, I don't even like to say I'm sorry. And that's, like, the reason why. It's
and
like,
that may be a part of it, too.
Yeah.
Like, you have to maybe apologize for your own situations first to actually acknowledge what it really means to feel an apology. Because,
and I think that forgiveness really comes into play.
Yes. And forgiveness, that's a whole nother subject.
Have you forgiven everyone?
I have.
That's big.
It is.
I don't feel like I have anybody to forgive.
I have forgiven everyone, and I'm not going to lie that it portrays a big role on my beliefs.
Do you feel like letting go is forgiveness?
That's a part of it.
It is a part of it.
It's not like all of it, but it's a part of it.
Okay.
It's letting it go.
I let go of a lot of things.
But you see, you can't just let it go. You have to, like,
acknowledge it. Yeah, I can't. That's what I can't do. I can't. I think that's just like me as a person.
That's a part of forgiving. It's acknowledging it. Yeah. Because if you don't acknowledge it, it's always going to be there.
That's why I take it as a lesson. Like, okay, this is what I learned from it. All right, bye. I'll let it go. Oh, okay. And then I just don't talk about it ever again.
I've been dismissive like that before. Yeah. I definitely have, but like the person that I am now, I guess you can say, is I look into things a little bit more into depth.
Yeah, I see that. Why aren't men sexualized?
I feel like this day and era,
I sexualize men.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Your Snapchat when you told me.
Yeah, your brother doesn't like that, but I mean, it's like, it's fair. I mean, if you can look at half naked women, why can't I look at half naked men? I think it's fair. I think I like opened up my Instagram the other day, like to show my friend something.
And she got scared because of all your men.
And like a men's ass, literally a men's ass showed up. And she's like, oh. I'm like, it's okay. Just ignore it.
That is so funny because then you can open up some women's Instagrams and it's just twerking.
Exactly.
Because that's all they look at.
Exactly. So it's like,
it's like music of, Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B or whoever.
Us.
Just all up in there. And if it's a man, it's like a gasp.
Exactly.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's what you're trying to say.
That's why I sexualize them. I'm like, you sexualize me. And I even put myself out there too. Like, I'm not afraid to put myself out there.
Right.
It's like, okay, like, this is me. This is my body. So fucking what? I can look at your body too. And like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
What is going to happen? Just look. I'm not going to touch.
Women are sexualized because we've always been set to the side of our body image.
Yeah.
What our clothes is too tight. Oh, you're showing too much.
The BBL era.
Oh, we should totally discuss
Big
that.
Boobs.
The BBL, like, would you consider getting a BBL?
No.
You would not?
No.
Ever?
I'm
like, ever. Like,
come on,
are you sure?
I am genuinely, I guess, like, not scared. But I'm scared. I am scared. I'm just genuinely, like, concerned about putting something into my body, which is, like, fine to anybody else. If you do that, cool. That's just not me. I just, maybe because, like, I've been through, like, more surgeries and I've been, like, under it and I just, like, know the healing process. I know it's very hard on your body. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I'm too scared. Like, I was, like, I was a part of the itty bitty titty committee.
Okay.
And I became a mom and it was like, boobs. Like, what? And I don't like them. If I'm being honest, I really don't.
Wow.
I really don't. It's like, I think it's funny. I think it's funny. So like when men like sexualize these like big boobs, I'm like, but do you really know what's going on in there? Like, do you know?
Do you?
Like it
like hurts during a certain time of the month.
Yeah.
It's just,
I want my small boobs back.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, the boobs you had before you had that.
Thank you.
I mean, it's a whole different
boob.
It's a whole different boob.
My body in general before I had that is like Chubby will show me pictures of himself. He'd be like, oh my God, look at how I looked before I was a dad. And I'm like,
Before
me too.
I was a dad, because like, he carried the baby.
Yeah, I'm like, me too. Like I know that. Like, I like, oh my gosh, the flat tummy, the small boobs. Like I was obsessed with my body, and I think that's why I put it out there.
Yeah.
And so like now it's like learning how to love this body and putting it out there, and I'm doing it because it's like, you know, it's real.
I've never actually like loved my body.
Damn.
Never.
Damn. Even before Trin?
Yeah, even before kids.
Why?
Always what is it called? Is it like body dysmorphia?
Yeah, it is.
I feel like I had that. I mean, there was a point where I knew that my body was like nice, and I knew that it was attracting other people's attention, but I've always been self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, for a teenager, it's very common.
It's normal.
But then becoming an adult, it's almost like...
Because you hear all these things. Like, oh, well, your body should be more like this, though. Like, even though you have a great body. I mean, like, well, okay, growing up, the whole era was, like, skinny, model. Like, you had to be, like, 80, 90 pounds.
Right. And I was a curvy Latina with a booty.
And exactly, ass.
Yeah, like an ass. Like I had that, and I appreciated it, but there was a part of me that was self-conscious about it.
It's like, I want to be skinnier, which is so sad to say, but it's so honest and so real. Yeah. I had the thunder thighs. I had the big thighs, and I remember, like, I know my friends have heard me discuss this before, where I was in elementary school. My legs become flatter. Like, as a girl, you're like, you sit down, your legs become flatter. And this like guy like looked under the desk and was like, oh my God, you have such fat legs. And I remember going like what the fuck? Like I like didn't even really notice that. And like since then that kind of stuck with me, because my mom was also another critic of my body, because she was, I guess, like, my mom has been into working out for like years. Yeah. Like years. Like that's all I've known her as growing up, like going to the gym, eating right, and that's just all I see her as. Even to this day, she's still like that. Yeah. And I think that's why I'm so against it, because I'm like, I don't like that. I don't want to be a part of that.
But there was a point in your life where you did like your body?
Yeah. I had to learn to love it. Because, like I said, like, I think I grew into... I was, like, okay with it. I did experience, like, a little bit of eating disorders growing up because of that. And then a situation came when I was, like, 16, 17. I probably will talk about that when I'm ready. And I became very skinny. Like, very skinny, like 80 pounds skinny. And I got to experience that, like, what it was like to be that skinny. And I thought it was so funny, because it was like, oh, hey, you're so used to being told, like, oh my God, you know, you're a little thick here, a little thick there, to like, you're too skinny. And it's like, well, am I never going to be good enough for you then? And then I didn't really like the way I looked. I appreciated it for a second. And then, like, I think as I got older, it's like, okay, like, I started gaining more weight, and it kind of became like the weight I was like good with. And I'm like, yeah, let me take some naked pictures and post it. Yeah. And I did. And
that was your way of like self-expressing your love for yourself.
Yeah. And I learned to love my body when I gained the weight and like the right places, but sometimes it wasn't even the right places. And then that all changed.
Or it's like the places that we don't want.
Yeah. Yeah. Always. And it's inevitable. Yeah. And I like, you know, when you turn 18 and you're growing up and all that, your body's different. It's like, you know, most didn't really have a lot, but I had what I appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I never got that experience, but
get it now. Do you feel it now?
Not right now, because I'm bloated. But
period. Different story.
Period. Okay. But it's more of I do feel, if anything, I'm more in love with my body now. Yay. As a 31-year-old woman after 2 children.
That's so big to say.
I know.
What?
Compared to like even before I had kids or when I was a teenager, I would always hide. Like I was always hiding.
You did say that you wore a lot of baggy clothes.
I still do. Yeah. But I think that's just me. Yeah. Like I just love baggy things.
Yeah. Who does
it? It's my thing.
It is.
I don't like, okay, for instance, if you see a girl wearing leggings at the grocery store.
Okay.
Do you look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Automatically.
I mean, you can't help it.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's this way of like somebody inventing these leggings to see somebody's body, because that's all you're doing. You're looking at their body completely.
You are, huh?
It's just with the layer of clothing.
That's why I'm shy to wear leggings around your family.
And I'm shy. Yes. Okay. So that's why I don't like tight clothes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm being exposed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, now I want to see what I'm like for the summer. Now that I kind of am a little bit more, comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of self-love. It's acceptance. Like just accepting that this is who God created me to be.
It's so crazy that it took you this long to really realize that.
It is.
And a lot of people are experiencing the same thing you are.
But it's almost like, yes, like your mom, how you mentioned, she was a big part in that. The thing was that people would comment that my body was nice, and I didn't like it.
I liked your body.
Thank you.
I did.
It was almost like if I did get those comments, I wasn't taking them as a compliment.
Yeah.
I was taking it as as a way of someone really paying attention to me, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's why this is very uncomfortable for me.
Don't look at me.
I am the type of person that's like, don't look at me. Don't pay too close attention.
Yeah.
Because I'm imperfect.
Yeah. But I would love that even more.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So in the aspect, here we go. In that
take
topic,
a shot for every time she says that.
Yes, take a shot every time I say aspect. It's been a journey for show.
I applaud you for that.
And I might just post a little snip on
Do
my
it.
Insta. I'm just kidding.
Do it. I would push you to do that.
But like of what?
Anything you want. You want to do an arm? You want to do a finger? You want to do a knee? Do it.
I like the knee.
Anything you want. And I feel like that's the reason why I've posted what I've posted. Because I feel like, okay, you could take social media too fucking seriously and like pretend you're something you're not, or just be fucking real with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want people to know. It's like, if I show you something, it's because I'm genuinely showing you something.
Yeah.
That I'm either proud of.
Exactly.
Or that I'm doing at the moment.
And that's why when I do see women that are like loving themselves and posting in leggings and posting in nakedness or whatever it is that their aspect shot that they're wanting to do, it's empowering.
It is. You love yourself that much, go for it. Please go for it.
I never think anything negative on it.
Good.
I'm always like, I can't do that, but props to you.
You go, girl.
You go, because you probably are showing somebody like me to start loosening up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, loosen up. Don't be so tight.
Don't be such a mom, April.
Don't be such a mom.
No.
I've always had that type of perspective in myself as well.
Wearing bikinis last summer was a different experience for me.
After a baby?
Yeah, because I had a lot more stuff going on, and I was like, all my bikinis were like extra smalls. And so it was like a lot happening, and I'm like, I did kind of feel like shy.
You were literally, when you're in a bathing suit, you are showing yourself.
Birthday suit.
There you go.
All right. Yes.
You have reached the end of episode 1.
Yay.
Cheers.
Thank you for your support. And then again, if you have anything you would want us to like talk about, share, appreciate,
discuss in topics,
let us know. You want your stories to be heard, please let us know.
Please. We are looking forward to the next episode, which is going to be on Thursday.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
Be on the lookout. Different topics.
Right. This was just basically off of us.
Yeah. Introduction.
The next one will definitely be off of a certain topic that we'll stay on topic of.
Yeah.
And not just, a little bit of me and a little bit of Nat.
Maybe a little bit of us.
Yeah.
You'll see what you get.
We'll see. But thank you so much for staying on till the end.
Yeah.
And until next time,
bless up.